Hello again, Sharpie, it's John here. I hope you're making nutritional changes. I'm sure you are, because I just get in your head, don't I? Next module. You are what you eat module. So we're still focusing on your nutrition and how important that is for your health to be the best you can be. And we covered why to eat, and we also covered how to eat. So what I'm going to cover right now is where to eat, and then I'm going to go into a bit about what to eat as well. So where to eat? Well, the environment that we're eating in is really important. And I say this because it needs to be a relaxing environment. What happens is if we're eating when we're stressed, we find it much more difficult to digest. Think about this for a moment, the stress response. Yeah? So usually, if we went back to caveman days, we'd get stressed when we were out hunting, and then we'd get jumped upon or pounced towards by a saber-toothed tiger. Jumps in front of us, showing us all its teeth. We're going to do one of two things. We're either going to fight the tiger, or we're going to run away and get the hell out of there as fast as possible. Okay? When that happens, do you think it's important for blood to be heading towards our digestion to digest our food? No way, Jose. Matter of life or death. Blood goes to the brain to think clearly and have clarity, and to the muscles to fight or run. Okay? So in a stress response, blood goes to brain and muscles, not to digestion. Okay? And if you think about this, in high stress scenarios, if someone's just had a meal, then guess what happens? Yeah, they bring it back up again. Their body can't digest it. So, the difference is modern day life. It's not saber-toothed tigers anymore. Modern day life is getting deadlines done. It's getting from A to B on time, getting the kids to school, getting to work on time, making sure we get our to-do list done, making sure we're eating at the right time, whatever it is. There's a whole list from beginning to end of day of things that can cause us stress in modern day life. The body still reacts the same way. The stress response is still the same. However, the triggers are very different. And what we have now is a constant level of stress for most people throughout the day, at various different degrees and heights. Whereas the saber-toothed tiger days, if we lived, then we'd be back in our cave again, resting, putting our feet up, round a campfire. It'd be much more downtime. And it wouldn't be a constant stress that it can be for some people today. So when we're eating, do you think it's going to be helpful to be stressed or more relaxed? No brainer. So we need to set up our environment to be relaxing. That doesn't mean work. We should never be eating at our desk while we keep working, or skip a meal because of work. So think about, well, what is a relaxing, calming environment? Well, if it's the summer, maybe sit out in a park or outside. Or certainly sitting upright at a table is key. If you're not sitting in a park, maybe on a park bench or something. But think about our posture when we eat. Are we better eating when we're sat upright, tuck the chair into the table here, sitting upright and eating, or slouching over and eating? Or sitting in front of the TV and eating? Think about the posture. How well are we going to digest food if we're in that position? What's going to be going on here? How well are we going to be able to digest our food when we're sat like this? So posture is really key. But also, so next time you make sure you give yourself time to eat. Stop and sit down to eat. Eating on the go isn't going to be helpful. You know, we all know it has to happen once in a while, but if it's a routine, it's a habit, it's a regular thing, it needs to change. Eating on the go while you're walking from A to B isn't healthy, isn't helpful. Although it's better than not eating at all. Think about also what we're doing while we're eating. Are we alone or are we with others? Are we enjoying our company, or is it stressful company? Have we got the TV on, and if so, is it something that's relaxing and inspiring, or is it something that's stressing us out, like the news? How many people start their day eating breakfast watching the news? Is that going to be a stress response more? It's not good news. Very rarely anyway. So what else? Sporting events. look, I'm guilty. If there's a really good sporting event that I want to watch, I'll maybe watch it, but I won't watch it all the time when I'm eating. Because again, especially if you've got an emotional attachment to that sport, then you could potentially be getting more adrenaline and more stress about what's going on in the scenario in it. And think about the music. You know, you go to the good restaurants, what do? They play relaxing, slow music. They want you to enjoy the experience. You pay more for it, but it wants to be relaxing. Opposite end of the scale, fast food. What music have they got going on in those places? Faster, upbeat, fast music to get people eating more, so then they've got the table and chair free for the next people to come in. They want you in and out as quick as possible, because in and out means more people through the door. Posh restaurants, good expensive restaurants, good quality food. They want the environment to be right for you. They understand a lot of this. Or if you're at home, what you can do is play relaxing, slower music. Whatever music relaxes you. And set up your environment to chill and enjoy your food. Remember, each mouthful, enjoy the mouthful. Enjoy the textures, the flavours. Really helps digestion. Great, okay, so that's where to eat. You got the messages? Have a think about what you're going to do, Sharpie. What are you going to do? Do you need to change anything? What are you going to change? Let me know. Let me know when we next meet up after you've watched this. It's your own personal session. I might be hoping for a bit of discount with all of this personal stuff anyway, but no, only kidding. So, what to eat? What to eat? This is the one that most people talk about, and yes, it's a really important part of nutrition. And I want to start off by sharing a line which a teacher of mine called Paul Chek shares in his book, and I love this line. Are you paying your body the minimum wage? Are you? Because a lot of people are. And a lot of people can be making choices on how to spend their money that are far less important than the quality of the food. They may be choosing to spend their money on good clothes, shoes, they might be on cars, on home stuff, holidays, spending a lot of money on all those things, yet they're not buying the very best, finest food they can find. Organic, local, fresh, high quality food. Okay? And people spending, many years ago, in fact I'll get the stats for this, we ought to get the stats for this, Sharpie. Many years ago, people would be spending a high percentage of their earnings on food, on their food bill. I don't know, I can't remember the stats, but 30-40%, a huge percentage. And now, because there's so many other things we can spend our money on and choices, the percentage of money spent on food has really gone down. Really gone down. We can get cheap food, really cheap food, and people are buying it and choosing to spend the money on other things instead. It's bizarre, because it's the food that we eat affects the way that we feel. And if people are trying to do more shopping and buy more clothes, buy more material things to make them feel better, they're never going to win. Because it's the food inside them that's going to make them feel better and perform better and give them the clarity and performance so they can do better in their work if they're working, or if they've got their own businesses, have a more successful business, which will then in turn bring them more money, which eventually can be then invested in or bought, or those other things less important. So do you compromise the quality of your food by spending money on other choices? It's all a choice. We all have the freedom of choice. The thing I want to highlight is it's a choice that we're aware of and conscious of. That's what I want to bring out. So when we think about the food, we live in a very different world now than we did 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Hugely different world we live in. And yet it wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. You think about how many thousands of years human beings have been on this planet, and yet in 200 years there's just been so much change, particularly with our food. Our bodies can't evolve quick enough to deal with the changes that have happened at such a fast pace with our food. Food production has changed massively, and the processing of food now is causing a lot of problems with people's health, leading to ill health. I want you to consider some of these bits of information. Currently, there are about 2,800 international food additives. Food additives added to our food. About 3,000 different chemicals as well that are deliberately added to our food supply each and every year. So colourings are added, food dyes to make the food look better. Preservatives are added to make the food last longer on the shelves. Think about the commercial benefit for this. It's not always, food isn't always, people's health isn't always thought about when it comes to creating the food. If it was, there would be a lot of foods out there that wouldn't be allowed to be sold. And I know some of you might be saying right now, yeah, but it's okay in moderation. I agree. Once in a while, a little bit of something is fine. If the other things in your day are good and healthy, then we can get away with a little bit of unhealthy. But what your version of healthy is can be very different from what my version of healthy is. And your idea of what a little bit is and how often may be different from mine. Okay? And I guess the thing to say is, are you feeling good? Are you energetic? Are you well? Are you a healthy weight? Are you thinking clearly? Are you generally happy in your thoughts? If the answer is no to some of those, then potentially you need to be changing something within your nutrition that could make a difference. So, where was I? Flavourings. Here we go. Next one, flavourings. The flavourings are added to food to trick the taste buds into believing that the real food is present. An example of this is strawberry flavoured products don't have to contain strawberries. They don't have to have even seen or got a hint of strawberry in it. Why? Because there are over 300 different synthetic flavours of strawberry. All different types of strawberry and intensities of strawberry. And literally they can go into a laboratory and choose which flavouring of strawberry they want to add to a yoghurt, add to a food, add to a milkshake. And guess what happens? Then people go and eat strawberries, they go, oh, they don't taste very good. Because their body's been used to a heightened, intense flavour, artificial flavour of strawberry. Consider that.